I'm here with actor Alan Trinca, who is going to be starring off-Broadway in Ms. Trial. Before we talk about that, that opens November 14th.
November 14th is when previews start. We open December 4th, technically, yes.
Well, we can see on November 14th.
Sure
we're going to be there. Be there or be square, right?
Exactly.
That wink and the was free for you ladies.
Oh, hey.
Now, before we talk a bit about that, let's talk a little bit about the construction that's going on around us.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
Yeah,
what are you guys building?
We're building your new set for Ms. Trial. So, talk a little bit about when you first decided you wanted to become an actor.
Yeah.
Whether it be in front of the camera, or I know you also do voiceover work. So.
Yeah, no, so I mean, I started as a kid. I mean, me and my brother and my cousin would just like make these storylines, and essentially my mother would follow us around with the camcorder, and progressively as the years went on, we would start, actually creating stories and characters, and all of a sudden we had more intricate, dynamic situations that the characters found themselves in, and then that was sort of where it all began. It wasn't even a question at that point. It's funny, when I went to high school, I did the plays and the musicals, and there was one moment in particular that I can think of where I said it out loud, I guess. I've always sort of known. But there was a moment when I decided, this is what I'm going to do. My teacher, my theater professor, he was like, so what are you going to do when you graduate? I said, well, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to some college, I don't know where. And he said, what are you going to go for? I was like, acting. It was the first time I ever said it out loud, and I was like, oh, I guess how did I know that? I just knew that's what I wanted to do. So that's sort of how I got into it, just messing around with my cousin and my brother.
What was the reaction like from the fam when you told them that's what you were going to do?
They always sort of knew too. It was never like, are you sure that's what you want to do?
Well, that's good. To have the support right off the bat, that's got to be encouraging.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, I don't know how people who don't have support from the people they care about the most do it, It's so important. It really is. I can't imagine a world where I didn't have the support that I have, and I still do this, and I'm successful. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you went to college then for theater?
Yeah. I went to Niagara University. It's up in Niagara Falls. I'm from Buffalo originally, so it's sort of just a hop, skip, and a jump north. Yeah. It's basically Canada.
I was going to say it's quite a hop.
Yeah, it sure
and
is.
A skip, and then
this is like a leap, really.
Yeah. You didn't bring your barrel with you for the interview.
No, I didn't. Not today.
Yeah,
not
you
today.
Left it.
Next time.
You might need it if it keeps raining.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously.
So, what were some of the first things you were doing in college? What plays or musicals were you?
So, I was really fortunate because my school, I got a lot of stage time. There are a lot of, I would say, more reputable theater schools out there. I'm in New York City. I could have gone here and done one of those, but I don't think you get as much stage time as perhaps I did, which really that's the best training, is the opportunity to do it.
Right.
So we did Pirates of Penzance. I played Frederick. We did The Real Thing. I played Billy in that. That was Tom Stoppard play, so that was a really heavy show, really fun to work on, especially as a 19-year-old kid. Yeah. We did A Midsummer Night's Dream. I played Bottom, Urinetown. Just really a really
lot of
cool
things,
variety of shows. Picasso at the Le Pen Agile, a Steve Martin play. I played Picasso, so yeah.
Is that what made you come here to New York then, since you were so enmeshed in the theater program?
I sort of, again, it's like I knew I was going to move here.
Yeah.
It was just something that, when I decided that I was going to do this, when I decided that I was going to go to school for it, that was me committing to this long term.
Yeah.
So.
But did you always want to stay in the theater realm, or were you looking to go into all three, film, theater, and television?
I've always been of the mindset that I don't think, if you want to create a sustainable career for yourself in this industry, I think you have to involve yourself in as many of the mediums as possible.
Absolutely.
So whether it be commercial, voiceover, TV, film, musicals, right? Straight plays.
Yeah.
If you write, create.
So you have to do it all nowadays to get out there, and you can now at this point in time, because there's so many platforms to put your content out on.
Totally. There's nothing stopping anybody from doing the thing you want to do. It's kind of an amazing time.
It's amazing and scary at the same time, because it's like there's more competition kind of, but it's interesting.
Well, it's that, and it's also like, I think there's no more excuses, right? And that's scary. Because before it was like, oh, well, I can't do this because, I don't have an agent, or, I can't, how do I get on camera material without getting the auditions? And I said, well, hold on. You have an iPhone.
Right.
You can make content and actually garner a following.
Yeah, it's definitely changed.
It's changed. It's a little scary because again, you got to kind of balance that. I don't know. I think there's some amount of guilt or pressure that comes to you. Then I said, well, if I could do this, why am I not doing it? And then you have to really look at that and be like, is this something I really want to do? Anyways.
Now, I always joke with the actors because I'm really pretty much New York-based people come in.
Yeah.
You have to do Law and Order. You have to do a horror film. And that, if you're not, you're not a real actor.
I'm not a real actor then.
You have done neither?
I did Bull though. Bull. It's a CBS show.
Okay, that's close.
Had a co-star
but
on
no
that.
horror film?
I've never done a horror film.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right?
You jumped the button.
I jumped the gun. I was like, you know what? I'll skip that for now.
You'll skip that for now. But
I'll wait for the Stephen King horror film opportunity. You know what I mean? The indie, I'll just...
Skip the ending. 100 hours out in the woods in the pouring rain.
Yeah, right.
For one line.
For one line.
Before an axe comes and...
Or you're like a zombie and no one can even see your face. You're like, that's me. That was me.
That was me. I promise.
Yeah.
So what was the first television role you booked when you came here to the city?
So, I've only done a handful of television, but the first TV role was a 6 Degrees of Murder thing on Discovery ID. And, it was I had a scene where I got to say some lines, but, it's one of those crime reenactment shows.
Right.
It was super fun. I mean, it is funny because a lot of times people back home, so again, everyone's so supportive, but I can say, oh, I booked this off-Broadway play, and it was very difficult to get and this and that. I'm like, oh, like, that's great. Like, how's that play you're in?
Yeah.
But like, I book a Discovery ID thing and everyone's like, oh my God, he's on TV,
Well, that could count if you died in it. It could count.
I didn't die, but I was the red herring.
All right, well.
It was fun.
I'm going to work you into getting murdered.
Yeah, somewhere. I can see that.
This is my dream here, for you to die on screen.
Right. Nice.
Went down the wrong path there.
Yeah. I know, right? Where we go?
Yeah, wait, I got to go now. I got rehearsal. Why are we in this basement? The construction is,
Yeah, jarring.
Yeah. So, you also did Bull, which you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Was that your first,
It was my first network TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Were there nerves going into that, or?
No nerves. I think at a certain point, well, first of all, I think there's a direct correlation between being more in yourself and booking roles. As soon as you take away the, oh man, I really want this, and you just like sort of live here, things start to happen, and it's so strange. And to be fair, I read a lot of these sort of books like The Power of Now and, Creative Visualization by Shakti Goin, which I would recommend. And there's a lot of that sort of take away the superlatives, like focus on the work, focus on what it is that you're doing. And I think, again, there's a correlation between feeling that way and booking work. And when I went to that audition, I felt confident, and then when I booked it, I felt confident walking in. They chose me for this role. I am right for this role, and so I'm just going to do the thing that I do. So no, I wouldn't say there were any nerves really involved with that.
That's awesome, and it seems like based on our interactions outside of interview time, and when you've been in front of the camera, that you have gone into this profession to be taken seriously and to be an actor, not to be famous and be out drinking every night and doing drugs and that kind of thing.
For sure.
I think that also helps an actor move forward when they're doing it for the right reason.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much of that, of just going out there to live the rock star life, and that's just not sustainable, number one. And number two, what are you really doing this for?
Right. If you're doing it just for likes and for fans and for whatever other sordid reason.
It fades, man. It fades, you know? And so I'm saying this not having had that fandom, right? At least not like,
But you did play two very well-known characters, Dylan McKay.
I did.
Rest in peace, Luke Perry.
Yeah, seriously.
Had not passed when the last time we interviewed. And,
I know.
Joey Tribbiani.
I did.
Blanc is still here, so.
Yes, got it.
Good for you, Matt. So, what were the challenges I know they were parodies, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
So did you not feel the pressure to be exactly like Luke Perry and exactly like Matt LeBlanc, and put your own spin on it?
Yeah, sure. So it's funny because when we first started rehearsals, it was very important that we captured the essence of these actors who played the characters, right? So there's almost 3 layers. It's like, okay, you have to do some sort of imitation of Matt LeBlanc doing Joey, right? But it can't be only that, because if it's only that, then you lose yourself, and you are who you are, and you have to bring whatever that is to a role.
Right.
So it was sort of like a 3-way split. It's like, okay, it's like take on Joey, take on Matt LeBlanc, and then add yourself. And same with Dylan McKay and Uncle Jesse in Full House.
That's
too.
right, you did that too, yeah. John Stamos also.
John Stamos, you know, if you want to keep.
There's very much death in this conversation. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's Halloween. Maybe
Halloween's
that's
in like what, 2 days?
Halloween's in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Let's chalk it up to that.
I get it. Check.
I'll post this before I get in the psych ward.
Great. Awesome. Last interview he ever did.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we know why you went crazy.
Right.
You were the last one that pushed me over the edge.
Damn it.
Now, you also were in Love's Labor's Lost.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the last thing you did on stage, and then you took a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, so that was the last performance that I did. It was an off-Broadway show. It was the Swing, so I covered all 5 male roles, which was a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
It's a Shakespeare play, and it was a really immersive type show. It was in the round. We served an 8-course meal throughout the show with wine pairings, you know.
Right.
And it was really an exciting thing to be a part of, and really unique. That closed, and like other actors, you're sort of like, man, what's next?
Right.
I decided to sort of not jump back into the service industry, because that's what a lot of us actors have to do. And I just decided to live off of what I had, which don't ever do that if you're watching this, because it's not a good idea.
Well, do you feel like that put you behind the 8 ball for starting out again now that you're working again, or do you feel you were able to spend more time being creative and really looking into yourself and what you really want to do?
So that was the idea, but that bank account really depletes really
very
fast
quickly.
in this city,
especially in New York.
Yeah. So you get to a point where you're, this is what you want to do, right? But then if I audition, I'm auditioning for all these things, and I'm getting really close, but I'm not quite there. So where? Yeah, this is construction. Yeah, what are they, jackhammering over there?
They're digging the plot.
Right? No, totally. I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about depleting your savings, and if that's what you really want to do.
Well, here's the thing, right? I think a lot of times we as actors have to check our egos, because there was part of me that was like, okay, I just want to focus on the art, and if I don't have a restaurant to work at, like, I can do that. I can spend all my time doing that. The issue is, as you know, actors don't get jobs right away. It's just not how it goes all the time. And a certain amount of time passed. I was in a very difficult situation, and I was like, you know what, screw it, man. I gotta just swallow my pride a little bit, like toss the ego away. I gotta do what I gotta do to survive out here.
Absolutely.
So I did that, and I did that for about 7 months, and I kind of stopped auditioning for theater, and I just sort of took a little bit of a step back, really. I sort of evaluated and just got back in myself. And then one day I just decided, man, I'm ready to act again. Like, I'm ready to do this.
Yeah.
And I started going to EPAs. The thing about Mistrial, leading up to that, is I don't have an agent for theater at the moment. I have a TV film commercial agent and a voiceover agent, both at the DDO. They're wonderful. I haven't been working with a theater agent, so everything that I've done for theater, I get on my own. Now, I showed up to these EPAs, which are just essentially open calls, and I got a call back from this thing. And I rarely get called back from EPAs, and there's this sort of lingering perception among actors that if you go to EPAs, you're sort of wasting your time. And to be honest, I sort of felt the same way, but I approached it differently. I decided I'm going to go to these EPAs. I'm going to get myself out there. I don't expect callbacks. I just want to work on my monologues and do it in front of people. I get a callback from this.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if nothing else, it's great practice.
100%. And so I get a call back from this, and it was a director session, and it went so well. And then I got a second call back, and then they offered me the show, and now I'm just so psyched, because I'm going to be at New World Stages for the first time. it's pretty well-renowned off-Broadway
Absolutely.
theater.
It's a huge off-Broadway theater.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like 6 or 7 in there, right? 5, 6?
Five,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who are you playing?
So I play the role of Dan Burks. He's an attorney. He works in this firm, in this law office, and he has a complicated relationship with his colleague and his boss, who is his uncle. And he sort of gets caught having to choose a side after a rape accusation. And I'll leave it at that, but it's basically a conversation about consent in the law, and
Very topical at this point in time.
very topical. And I think it's going to be really good.
Since you have done theater in the past, do you have any nerves because this is a step up from what you've done?
No,
That's awesome.
no. And again, once that they chose you, they've chosen you for this role. I walked into that first table read, and it was just, okay, like I don't have to fight for this role anymore, right? Like it's mine. I'm here right now, and now I just get to do the thing that I love to do.
Yeah. Did that boost your confidence immediately?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially working alongside someone like Evangelista, who's she's established. She has her own show on E, and she's been in The Walking Dead and things of that nature. So like being an equal with her in a lot of ways has sort of just solidified my value, I guess, in a weird way, and maybe that's superlative as well. But it does help.
Did you value yourself less when you had to go back into the service industry, or were you keeping your spirits up, like, this is just temporary, I know how talented I am, I'm going to get back up, I'm going to dust off the bootstraps, as they say?
Yeah, I think in the beginning there was some of that, absolutely. Some of that, like, I had to do this, and here I am again. I didn't really want to go back to this, but here I am. But that didn't last very long, because I'm an optimistic person by nature, and I know that if I'm going to be doing that, going back to a restaurant industry, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it because if I zoom out and look at the big picture, this is just another chapter, right? To be on the other end of struggle is worth the struggle itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has to go through that at one point in their life or not, whether you're an actor, no matter what you're doing, there's always times you have to adjust to keep moving forward.
It just is. It's just the way it has to be. And I don't think you can have those positive revolutionary moments for yourself where you're like, I'm doing this. Without that. I really don't.
Now that you're back on stage, is this open-ended, this run?
It is. Well, I think at the moment we're going until the end of the year.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll see what happens. But it is open-ended. They don't plan on closing in December. It's just, So,
as of now, the tickets are on sale.
As of now, tickets are on sale till January.
Till January, and you can get tickets linked here in the interview.
Yeah.
There will be a link for you to check that out.
Yeah.
Did you have to get back in touch with your theater actor roots in terms of, since you had been away such a short time, or did it come right back to you?
Well, I took 3 7-week Meisner intensives with a woman named Laura Henry Studios, and a woman named Laura Henry of Laura Henry Studios, and they changed my life. They truly did. They changed my approach to acting. They sort of made me look inward and excavate certain things about myself that maybe I hadn't known about, right? And really look inward and what do I feel about certain things in real life, because you can't really relate to a character unless you know how you would actually respond.
Correct. That's right.
So I think I just employed the things that I've learned over the last year and a half to this role, and the last show that I did, I was sort of in the middle of classes, and so it's interesting now at the offset, at the very beginning of rehearsal process, being able to employ some of these tools that I've learned, and it just feels good, Feels good.
It must feel amazing you have rehearsed already, right, on the stage at Dodgers? Or at New World? Sorry.
Not yet. I think we're on the stage for the first time November 8th.
Wow. What's that like for you to know that you're going to be on a stage like that?
Like I said, I'm sort of taking it day by day, and I'm sort of just focusing on the work, because I think it's going to be awesome if I sit down and really think about it.
Yeah.
It'll just be, but at the end of the day, it's the work that matters. It's the moment to moment, and that's what I'm focusing on.
And now you also were doing a voiceover project, correct? Were you
Yeah,
Transformer?
yeah. So I do Transformers Rescue Bots Academy. It's on Discovery Family. I'm pretty sure there's new episodes every Saturday or so. I play a series regular, Hoist, the tow truck, and we just finished season 2 not too long ago, and we're hopefully going to get a third season. But at the moment, we're on a sort of a hiatus.
Yeah. What's it like for you, and what muscles do you use differently when you're doing the voiceover work versus people being present watching you?
Well, it's interesting because you're not really responding to anyone in a booth, at least the way we record Rescue Bots. It's, you have the script in front of you, you have your lines, everyone else has their lines, but you're in the booth by yourself. And so, you're on the line with the producer in LA, and then there's the director in the studio through the glass.
Right.
And they say, okay, your first line is line 3. Give me that 3 times in a row. And so you do it 3 times in a row, and they discuss, the producer and the director, and they say, oh, line 2 is the best. Okay, move on. Your next line is line 14. So what you have to do as the actor is obviously read the scripts beforehand,
right,
knowing what's going on, what's the context, and you have to sort of imagine what the person just said, or Transformer just said to you,
right,
or whatever just happened, so that you can respond to it. And so really it's not very different from acting, except
if anything, it's more challenging, it would seem like.
It can be. It can be. It's also super fun. Yeah. You just show up. You get to be this larger than life character and just do the damn thing.
That's cool. Yeah, that's got to be. And you're probably a rock star to your younger family members.
Yeah. Well, I have a niece and 2 nephews now, and they watch the show back home, and that's so cool to me.
Do they do like a double take when they hear your voice through the television, or are you disguised enough that they can't tell?
Well, my sister-in-law points it out. I say, oh, that's Uncle Alan, you know? And so the last time I saw my niece, she showed me the video, and she's like, that's you. She's pointing at the Transformer. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What does your family think now that you're going to be opening off-Broadway in such a bigger capacity than what you've done so far?
They've always trusted in me, and they've always had that faith and confidence that we talked about, and support. They've always supported me so much that this is, I don't want to say and be cliche and say I do this for them, because I don't. But there is a part of me that it's always nice to be able to be someone that your loved ones can be proud of. You know what I mean? And that is a nice, and they're all, again, like I said.
Yeah. What do you do to combat the negative energy that you could bring to yourself in terms of, oh, that audition was terrible, oh, my hair looked like shit today, oh, I'm not built enough for this role? Because actors get put through the paces, and it's obviously it's about looks a lot of the time.
It is.
And it's not like that in any other career. How do you navigate that?
Yeah, well, it's about being in yourself and knowing that this is what I have to offer you. I am who I am, and I have the tools that I have. I can't have more than what I have, than what I know. I can't know more than what I already know. So this is what I have to give you. I think it's all about acknowledging where you're wrong, or where you could have, been better, without beating yourself up. That's a really hard thing to sort of balance out. But it's really important not to be delusional and say, oh, that was a great audition, they should have cast me. Right. And being like, okay, what did I do wrong there? Maybe you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe you went in there, you really listened, you responded, you did the work, and you just weren't right. And it's a puzzle piece. Every production is a puzzle piece, and you just either fit or you don't.
Well, even the aspect of your appearance is a job that you don't go to McDonald's or my job or anywhere else and be like, oh, you're too this for that role. You're too big to give French fries. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
But for you, it's a real thing of you're too this for that, you're too not enough this for that. Like, how do you wrap your mind around that? I know you were speaking of that book that you're reading, and you focus in and hone in on positive reinforcement for yourself.
That, and you do your best. I mean, I go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week.
I feel you. I see you there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm in the back.
I see him there.
No. The only time I see you in a gym if I was walking past.
It's walking past.
But is that an added pressure, or do you use that time in the gym to clear your head and decompress and get your frustration out?
I think that it's part of the game, because it just inherently is. We're in front of people all the time, whether it's on stage or in front of a camera. You are the product, right? I'm not selling something, I'm selling me.
Right.
And I want to be the best product that I can be. And so I'm going to take good care of myself, because I do care. And again, if they end up not liking me for what I have, this is what I have today.
Yeah, you don't I mean, you can only enhance your or change your appearance so much to fit. It really should be about talent, and it shouldn't be about an appearance.
Absolutely. And look, appearance is inevitably going to play some part, right? Yes, talent should be the priority.
Yeah. You would think. But it can't not be a factor. It has to be a factor. And you have to just accept that going into this. Otherwise, you're going to be blaming other people all the time. And when you do that, you stop. I do think that when you stop taking responsibility for things, again, how you look is how you look. Mm-hmm. Right.
So but for other things, when you stop taking responsibility for things, you sort of, you lose power. You give your power away.
We talked about being able to get yourself out on different platforms. Do you have any interest in writing and directing and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so a year and a half ago, I think I talked to you, I had written a short film and produced that, and that got accepted to a few different film festivals. And I'm sitting on like 6 other short films that I've written out that I just have to pull the trigger. But I'm kind of busy right now in rehearsals.
Oh,
But
what do you mean?
Yeah. But the idea is to get those out. I am working. I did write a series though.
Did you? Like a web series or a?
It's right now. They're about 15 pages each, so that's about It's a web series. It wouldn't really be on a network or anything. But I'm really excited about it. I'm working with a guy, Manolo Campos. He's a brilliant DP from Spain. He's got this company called Film Storms. He does great work, and we've been working for the last year on this project. I have all 8 episodes written, and now it's just a matter of finding the people to help make it a reality.
Yeah. Fundraising and all that kind of stuff.
All that stuff. So right now, there are other projects in the works, but haven't gotten to the production phase yet. Yeah. Still very pre-production.
We'll link your crowdfunding too on here.
Yeah,
let's get it started. Come on,
let's do it. Let's do the thing.
Start charging $5.
Yeah, right.
They watch. It'll be the whole Trinca family depositing.
Yeah,
well, then give more than 5, right?
Exactly.
You gotta keep butter in the bread, as they say.
Yep, that's right.
So, what else have you got going on? I know super busy with rehearsal.
Yeah.
What do you do to decompress? I mean, that's besides the gym and reading your books. Are there?
Definitely. I went through a little phase of chaos this summer where it was sort of just like, you know what? I've been this tyrannical overlord over myself, where I'm just sort of keeping this strict regiment and making sure not to spend so much money and all these other things, and just being very tight on myself, like restrained. And I was like, I can't do this right now. And so I sort of went the other way and was like, screw everything. And I sort of went out a little bit more than I should have, right? Made some decisions maybe I shouldn't have.
Wait, let me get that white bright light
out.
What
Hold
up.
No. No.
What decision?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I got to switch out Barbara Walters. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Barbara Walters comes out the corner. What? What's going on?
The feds.
Yeah.
Come rappelling through the ceiling.
But basically now I'm sort of in this balance. I feel pretty balanced right now, where I'm doing what I have to do. I'm working on what I have to work on, and I'm feeling really good about that work. And I'm also I do a fair amount of going out here and there. Like I'll meet.
You have to. You got to do.
You have to.
Like you can't just be 1,000% about one thing.
No.
Yes, I mean your commitment and stuff can be 1,000%.
Sure.
But like if that's all you do is live just for that,
it's unhealthy.
No, it's completely
I think it's unhealthy.
And you do a huge disservice to yourself.
Absolutely. I have different friend groups that I'll hit up at different points and meet them out for a drink or you go watch a movie. I saw Joker twice. I thought it was a beautiful film.
How was that?
I thought it was a beautiful film.
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
Yeah. But we'll be doing the movie review.
The movie reviews with Alan Trinca. Right?
Hey, that could be a web series.
It could be something. But yeah, it's just mostly that. Mostly just making sure to maintain my friendships that I care about. You know, calling family back home and friends who don't live here, and just.
So all your family is in Buffalo still?
I have one cousin who's out here, my cousin Rocco, and he's a fantastic musician. He tours the world.
That doesn't sound Italian at all either.
Rocco? No, not at all.
Rocco and Alan Trinca.
I know, right? So yeah, and it's been really good. It's been really fun to sort of do the thing I love to do, and at the same time have the friends and the family. My family just left. They were here this weekend, and I got to hang out with all them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my uncle's a jazz singer in Chicago, and he just did a show at Birdland.
The music didn't trickle down to you?
No. Well, no, I do play. I play piano and guitar.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Do you write music, or do you just?
I don't write music. I keep up with.
You just tickle
playing.
the ivories.
I
Yeah.
tickle the ivories from time to time.
There you go.
You know what I mean? That's me tickling. I don't know.
I was going to say there's no piano there, but
Whoa, wait.
that'll translate, I'm sure.
Oh, classic.
Awesome, Alan. I can't wait to catch you up on that stage, and maybe number 3 will be in your dressing room.
Hey, man, I love it. I can't wait.
That would be amazing.
Hell
to,
yeah.
sit down with you there.
It's great, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for coming down.
And thanks for having me.